Hey everybody, and welcome to Is It Good? The M16A4 assault rifle in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. This video will give you a closer look at the M16A4, going through its stats, pros, cons, effective attachments, and lastly a verdict on if the gun is what could be considered good. At the end of it, we guarantee you'll know a little bit more about the M16A4. Let's get going by introducing you to the M16A4 as a gun. In reality, the M16A4, which has an official name of Rifle Caliber 5.56mm M16, is the United States label for an adapted AR-15 rifle that has been fitted for semi-burst and even fully auto firing. The M16 joined the U.S. Army in 1963 and was introduced for jungle warfare ops in southern Vietnam. In 1969, it earned the title of the U.S. military's standard service rifle for the Vietnam War, replacing the M14. Ever since the Vietnam War, the M16 family has been the primary service rifle of the U.S. Armed Forces, though it may soon lose that title to the M4 carbine, which is a shortened version of the M16A2. The M16 has been implemented into other armed forces around the globe, checking total worldwide production of M16-based weapons since the gun's beginning, up to nearly 8 million. This impressive feat makes the M16 the highest produced weapon of its caliber type. Interesting bit, the M16A3, which came out around the same time as the M16A2, was a fully automatic M16 variant, used in small numbers by the SEALs and other US Navy units. But the M16A4, with the A4 meaning the variation, is the 4th gen of the M16. The Colt M16A4, standard with semi-burst selective fire, is the standard issue firearm for frontline U.S. Marines and other divisions of the U.S. Armed Forces. The M16 was the genesis of many other firearms to come. Naming a few, the Colt Commando, Colt 655 and 656 sniper models, MK4 Mod 0, Mark 12, and most importantly, the infamous M4 carbine. The M16 is the grandparent of American assault rifles, and it is sure as hell still kicking. In Call of Duty, the M16 has burst fired its way through Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, Black Ops, and most recently Modern Warfare 3. It's a semi-auto, accurate, 3-round burst firing gun. It's most effective at mid to long ranges when you have the opportunity to acquire your target and avoid the disappointment of its low fire rate. The M16A4 is surprisingly powerful. If you manage to hit an enemy with all 3 bullets, a single burst should almost always take them down. Now grab onto your thinking cap. It's stat time. Listen up and check the description if you missed anything. The M16A4 has an ammo capacity of 30 rounds and 45 when you strap on good ol' extended mags. The M16A4 is unlocked at level 4 right next to the M4A1, that's a lot of 4s there, and right next to your jolly old custom classes. The M16A4 has a burst round per minute count of 780. Remember, that's the rate of the pop pop pop, not counting the time in between. The M16A4 has a headshot multiplier of 1.4 times damage. The M16A4 will smack down with 45 damage for every close range hit and 25 with a long range hit. The M16A4 has a probable bullets to kill count of 3 at close range, or 1 burst that hits all 3 bullets, and 4 at long range, so most likely 2 accurate bursts either way. The M16A4 damage drop-off begins at 25.4 meters and cuts off at 50.8 meters, the same as the MK14 assault rifle. The M16A4 has a recoil that should not get in your way because you should be able to center back your gun after firing a burst with the time in between. The M16A4 reloads in 2.03 seconds normally and in 2.36 seconds with an empty clip. That's the exact same as the M4A1. The M16A4 has a raise time of 0.75 seconds and a drop time of 0.45 seconds. The M16A4's sights have an ADS time of 0.30 seconds that will grant 1.35 times magnification. The M16A4's iron sights shroud over approximately 12% of the screen, well ADS. Finally, the M16A4 has a hip-held mobility of 90% and an ADS mobility of 40%. The same with all other assault rifles. Now after seeing those stats, let's shine a different light on the M16A4 with our pros and cons. First, the pros. The M16A4 is accurate, and that accuracy is accompanied by the gun's considerable power. It has a long-range advantage over some weapons, and with these traits you're pretty free to try out proficiencies and attachments at your will to find a level of comfort. Now to the cons. It's got a slow burst rate that'll get in your way sometimes, and that slow rate will make the M16A4 a risky option to take into close quarters combat sometimes. Because if you don't land all 3 shots from one burst, you most likely will end up going down at the hand of an SMG or shotgun. And lastly, the M16A4 has slightly strange iron sights that some people do find uncomfortable. It is recommended that you keep your distance in altercations. There's no getting around the fact that close range encounters with SMGs and shotguns usually don't go well for the M16A4. This is almost entirely due to the gun's low fire rate of 780 rounds per minute per burst, which appears much worse including the time in between those shots. A swift trigger finger and a head start with something like a UAV or heartbeat sensor can help you avoid or take control of these combat encounters, and also use the M16A4's low recoil and power to turn the tide in your favor. Though the M16A4 somewhat disappoints as its bare version, no assistance from attachments and or proficiencies, you'll be left looking at only the bad side of this gun. However, persistence does somewhat pay off. Attachments and proficiencies will make the M16A4 a more rewarding feature. Here are some of the attachments and proficiencies we recommend you try out while using the M16A4. Rapid fire will improve the gun's burst fire rate. This will greatly improve the outcome of encounters from all ranges because the M16A4's powerful shot will be able to work much quicker and will feel more accurate too. And because the M16A4's default low recoil, the kick proficiency is relatively not needed, making rapid fire a solid choice. Optics will provide a greatly improved accuracy with the M16A4. We did not single out any optical sight in specific because almost all of them substantially help with the gun, though we recommend the red dot sight be applied as soon as it becomes available and used with good reason. These optics will allow you to get by the gun's somewhat awkward iron sights and improve your acquisition time and your accuracy with the M16A4, increasing the potential of kills. Attachments will give you the opportunity to double up your improvements to the M16A4. Because the kick proficiency will reduce recoil, and the M16A4 has a low recoil and a burst fire mechanic, kick can be tossed right out. This gives you the option to double your doodads by applying the attachment's proficiency. We recommend applying rapid fire and an optical sight while you have attachments active, but the combination is your choice to make. Focus is a more tactical choice. With it, you'll utilize the M16A4's power by reducing the hit flinch and increasing your chances of landing the killer burst from all ranges. I've noticed that close range altercations sometimes go bad because you fail to hit all 3 shots. Sometimes that comes from the hit flinch. With focus, you'll be able to concentrate and land the lucky 3 more often. Now it's time for the Is It Good verdict on the M16A4. First, its base rating. This is the rating for the gun as its basic form with 0 attachments or proficiencies. We give the M16A4 2 stars because frankly this gun should and could be a lot better. Its flaws are obvious and the whole time you're using the naked M16A4 you feel the damn Type 95 breathing down your neck. For the overall rating, that's the weapon at its maximum effectiveness in terms of any and all attachments, proficiencies, and perks that you could mix. This is as good as we would say the gun is ever going to get. The M16A4 gets 2.5 stars because despite what you slap on the gun, you're going to get the itching feeling of why the hell am I using this? Next up, the final rating on the IIG scale. Is it awesome, great, really good, good, decent, gimped, or Terribad? Let's find out. Dun da da da! It's decent! The M16A4 was rewarded the decent rating. Looking at our previous remarks, you might be saying, why isn't it gimped or something? The whole point of the M16A4 is to challenge you. And no shit, the Type 95 is better. We all know that. But this gun is about bucking up and putting your skills to the test. This gun is honestly not that good. I won't lie, the Type 95 makes this seem like a metal Nerf gun sometimes. In fact, many guns do that. But you tell me which is more rewarding. To know that you picked up the 800-pound gorilla in the room to get some easy scores, or you manned up and took the underdog into battle and kicked ass with something that gets its ass kicked. I liked using the gun for one main reason, which I realized was not because of its power, because that's totally there in the Type 95. It was because every time I saw my name at the summit of the scoreboard, which did happen, it did, I knew that I had done that using this gun. If you want to impress everyone online, impress your amigos, and hell, impress yourself, pick up the M16A4. But if you want to spend your time in MW3 wrapped around the fingers of the Type 95 and PP90M1, well then, hats off to you, jackass. Until next time, this has been Is It Good for the M16A4 Assault Rifle in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Stay frosty, my friends.